The biggest shows of last year, the latest from our free daily newsletter at podnews.net. Which were the biggest new shows in 2022? Edison Podcast Metrics reports that the three biggest launches last year were, at number 3...
Hi guys, it's Kendall Ray.
That's True Crime with Kendall Ray, launched on April the 22nd. At 2...
Listen to Fly on the Wall, a presentation of Cadence 13, wherever you listen to your podcast.
Launched on January the 12th. And at number 1 from Audio Chuck...
I'm Ashley Flowers, and this is The Deck.
Launched on February the 2nd. Spotify's Megaphone has launched its own broadcast-to-podcast technology tools, building on the toolset it bought in its acquisition of Whooshkaa in December 2021. The radio-to-podcast tools are already in use by Fox News Audio. Kids podcasts are very popular, says new research from Kids Listen, saying that nearly half of all kid podcast listeners tune in every day. The data also suggests parents regard kids podcasts as very trustworthy. The data was released in the survey Kids Podcasts in the Age of Screens, and we've an interview with one of the authors of the survey, Sandon Totten, in the Pod News Weekly Review tomorrow. Spanish-language podcast platform Ivoox has launched a new iOS app offering a totally renewed design following current trends, improvements in usability, new features to make it more accessible, as well as a new dark theme for better visibility. Podcast Radio has launched a podcast production house to make shows for brand partners worldwide. NPR has quit Twitter. Gumball has posted a recap on their panel of podcast movement called Betting on Yourself, How to Succeed as an Independent Podcaster. And Libsyn's AdvertiseCast has renewed a number of exclusive ad partnerships with a number of popular shows. And as an aside, Libsyn are based in Pittsburgh. We said Philadelphia yesterday. Apparently they're different places. We know, right? Wild. Who knew? Sorry to fans of the Steelers or the Penguins or the Pirates or whoever. After that, we need a good news corner. There's double-digit growth in audiences across every age demographic, says iHeart's Connell Byrne in an op-ed for Forbes. In a piece designed to bust myths, he also highlights podcasting's measurement and targeting tools and the rise in time spent listening. And Signal Hill Insights shares 4 bright signs for podcasting: a growth in podcast audience, continued ad spend, the buzz from YouTube, and much more room for growth. Get some positivity in your life and check out our Good News Corner in our show notes and our newsletter at podnews.net. This podcast is brought to you in part by Where the Internet Lives, a Webby Award-winning podcast from Google about the fascinating world of data centers. Venture into places that very few people ever see firsthand and learn about the technology, people and places that make the internet run. This season, you can explore how data centers change the world around us in surprising and beneficial ways. You can hear stories about prairie restoration, the solar energy boom, recycled canal water, and cities undergoing economic transformation, all enabled by data centers. Find and follow Where the Internet Lives on Google Podcasts, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your shows. The show's made by Postscript Media, and today only you'll hear the trailer in just a second. And in podcast news, Dan Snow's history hit today celebrates the 70th anniversary of Ian Fleming's first ever James Bond book by talking to an actual spy. Expect high-speed chases, modified cars, and a mission to uncover secret enemy technology with Dave Butler behind enemy lines in East Germany. Technology for news reporting has dramatically changed storytelling, as Emmy award-winning broadcast journalist Jeff Kaufman highlights in Storytech. This episode look at photography with Pulitzer Prize-winning photojournalist and LA Times staff photographer Carolyn Cole, who talks about how the transformation from film to digital changed her craft for better and for worse. And new podcast trailers is there for you to discover new shows, and it's all from the pages of Pod News, if we've got pages, which I guess we kind of do. Subscribe to the show and dip in whenever you want to find something new. The show's called New Podcast Trailers, and you'll find it wherever you found this show. And that's the latest from our daily newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.
I'm Stephanie Wong, and I'm your guide through the people and places that make up the internet. And I'm back as the host of the third season of Where the Internet Lives, a podcast from Google about the unseen world of data centers. In past episodes, we've introduced you to the technologies and people that run data centers, unveiling a world that very few people get to see. This season, we're exploring how data centers change the world around them in surprising and transformative ways. We'll hear stories about prairie restoration, the solar energy boom, recycled canal water, and cities undergoing economic transformation, all enabled by data centers. Subscribe to Where the Internet Lives on Google Podcasts, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get your shows. And this season, we'll have some film documentaries to complement our audio stories. We can't wait to welcome you back.